For which one of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and count the cost, whether he hath sufficient to finish it? Least happily, after he had laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all behold it, being to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
And how much it will cost to build it? Which one of you first won't sit down and count your dollars? I hope you count your dollars before you don't lose your sense of buying stuff without you can't afford. But I find folk do that all the time. He said, which one of you go to war without finding out in the bottom of the scripture without counting up your troops? Which one of y'all pick a fight and you ain't got enough people to fight with? Which one of you will go and challenge somebody who's 7 feet tall, weighing 300 pounds, and all you got is these dukes and you ain't got no equalizer in your hand? Come on. Which one of you will do that before you do anything? He said, first you should sit down, count up the cost before you start building anything. What we do now, we start building without counting. We start buying without knowing the finance rates. We start doing or dealing with people before we find out how crazy they are. We do things backwards. First, when you meet somebody, you want to know them spiritually. First. Then you want to know what's their soul, their mind. Then you do physical. But we do things backwards in the world. We do physical first. Men first, physical. Women men first, physical. Women first, mental. See how he's thinking, get in here. Can he feed me? Can he give me attention? And they go for that first. So what we do, we swap the mental and the physical, but we forget about the spiritual. Count up the cost. It costs you something. Find out how much it costs before you start anything. Put the work in and do some research before you do anything in life. It costs you something. It costs you to be you. That's why I tell people when folks say, yeah, preaching the choir, I'm just like you. No, you're not, because you didn't pay the same cost I paid. It's a big difference. Yeah, people don't understand. I got to fight. I got to deal with this lion. You got a cat. They both felines. They both have claws. They both can scratch you. But one will eat you. So don't compare my lion with your house cat. We're not the same. Oh yeah, you got to feed. Cat is a cat. No, a cat ain't a cat. It costs me more. It costs me more to deal with that lion, to tame that lion. I got to buy the meat to feed it. All you got to buy is cat food. All you got to do is get milk. It's more. Some things in life are just more for you to handle, and it's a greater cost. So everybody ain't the same. Your breakup is not my breakup. The way you had your baby ain't like the same. People say, girl, don't worry about it. Yeah, people, when you go for an operation, one person tell you you're going to die. One person tell you it's going to be nothing. Baby, I know ladies, when first time y'all have babies, they'll tell you, oh, girl, ain't nothing. I bit mine out. Other person say, my eyes bugged out my head. All fair stories. People scare you. When I was going through certain things in my life, folks tell me, oh man, they're going to get everything you got. I was terrified. But I had to count up the cost of what I'm going through. And counting up the cost is planning. It costs you something. That's why the next generation, when folk come in here like, oh, pastor, yeah, nice church. No. They want to walk in. Folks starting churches and ministry and they ain't counting up the cost. Folk getting married ain't counting up the cost. Folk having 10, 20 kids ain't counting up the cost. It costs you something. So before you get into anything, find out the cost. The cost is not always money. It's your mind. It's your spirit. It's your sanity. It costs you something. And when you, here it is again, certain things are valuable to one person, not valuable to another, because it didn't cost them nothing. And I find people that give things to, they don't respect it. When folk don't earn nothing, they will throw it away. Easy come, easy go. And you work hard. So let me say something. When folk come in here and talk that yin yang and trash to me, and they all that jibber jabber, no. You ain't do what I had to do to get here. And when it costs something, some things that was of value to me, it's called blood, sweat, and tears. And when you got blood, sweat, tears, and let me throw something else in there, finance, and you got all of them inside your mind, and then you got somebody come along and just talk some trash like they know how, people think certain things are, nah, that ain't nothing. Okay, you do it then. Because I know how much it costs me. And sometimes you're going to fight for what cost you. I had to fight to get here. I had to fight to get this job. I had to fight to earn the promotion. I had to fight to get married. I had to fight to get buy my house. And you ain't going to come in, you fought there and worked 3-4 jobs to get your home and finally get it. And somebody just come in there and they walk in with mud on the floor. You ready to fight them. You finally got that position. You got somebody on your job talking trash. You ready to fight somebody. You've been catching the bus for a long time, and you finally got a car, and you're going to have somebody key it up or scratch it up or want to borrow it. And then when you tell them no, you acting all funny. No, it cost me something. You're teared up because you didn't earn nothing. It cost me. And you wasn't there when I was crying. You wasn't there when I suffered. You wasn't there when I was cold and naked. It cost me something. So I'm going to fight you over what God gave me. That's why I don't care when folks say things to me about this place. What did it cost you? Because see, this wasn't no quick cost. This was years costing me. Certain things you do, it costs you peace, it costs you joy. Some folk lost their jobs, some people lost their marriage to get to the places they need to get to. And so when I see folk come along and act like, oh, it ain't nothing, well, you might diminish the value of what you went through, but let me say something to you. Come on. All right, man. That's why some folk I won't talk to, because they trying to diminish the hell you've been through. They try to act like it wasn't all that. But where were you, Job, when God said, when I hung the stars? Where were you when I was crying? Where were you? Was only God the one that kept me. Where were you when I was eating the bologna sandwiches and I had to act like I was? Where were you when I came in with a smile and I had World War III going on in my spirit? Where were you? Because it cost me something. That's why I fight. That's why I don't care when folks do, because you know what? I learned how to be content. I said, God, whether you give me a dime or not, keep me healthy. The worst thing to me, you can give me $1 million, but if I'm laid up, I can't do your will. Because I can't pay people to do what I need to do. Because every time I walk in, every time I clean my house, I say, thank you, Jesus. You know why? Because I at one point, I thought I might not have this house. See, you only can lose something that you already had. If you never have it, you can't lose it. That's why God had to give the kingdom back to us, because he's talking about parable, we lost it. He said, now, I give you back the authority. We lost our authority. If you have your keys and you lost them, they were yours. You had to get it back. And when certain things we got in life, I'm fighting right now to get back the things that I lost. Some things that the devil took. So when you're in a battle trying to get back, and here's the problem. The older you get, you're fighting time. You're fighting health issues. You got new devils on the horizon. You're not as young as you are. And then now I used to fight good by myself. Then I got a kid. I got somebody else to have to fight with or fight for. It costs me something. And so when I find people who diminish what you do, what you went through, I've realized if you always check what's behind them, they don't have nothing, they never gone through nothing, and they lived on a bed of ease. And everything was given to them. And see, selfish folk don't ever understand your plight. People who ain't gone through nothing don't know. They just need to get it right. Now, you can't just get everything right. There's so many factors in getting it right. It's easy to get it wrong to get it right. Because wrong is easy. Right takes some work. Oh, Pastor, what you talking about? I can get a gallon of paint and wrongly just slap it on the wall. But to do it and make it look nice, I got to take time and cut in. Got to make sure the roller's right so it won't splash. That's doing it right, because right takes work and time. So when you put that work in, and somebody come along and just slap paint on the wall, you ready to fight. Because they ain't gonna put what they did. It cost me something. That's why I celebrate God, because you know what? I know how much it cost me and you didn't. And just because you know of it, that don't mean you have gone through it. Because what's my Goliath may not be yours. Hey, some of y'all write. Some people can write a book. Oh, writing is easy for me. Writing ain't easy for me. It's a struggle for me. And I'm where you can write 4 pages, I might still finish my paragraph. It's called disability. And some of us got disability. Yeah, you might laugh. I can see what's wrong with me, but you might write good, but you don't know how to get along with folk. Nobody can see what's wrong with you. I'd rather see my physical ailments. At least I can pinpoint, say, I got to learn a disability. You might laugh, but you know what? That's what, thank God for spell check. Amen. I get my help. But I learned I don't depend on that. My real help comes from the Lord. Amen. Because I know how much it costs me. Some things it just costs people more than others. You got to learn what costs you. And just because we get too cocky because one thing is easy for another person, they don't understand what you went through. And here it is. Here's the problem. I didn't get what you got. What do you do when you didn't get what everybody else got? What do you do when you ain't grew up in a nice neighborhood? Didn't get a good education. It's going to cost you more to get there. So, yeah, you got good parents, went to private school. I expect you to be, when you grow up, to have a good job. I expect that. But what if you had to dodge bullets and folk offering you drugs in your neighborhood? You most least likely won't make it. They'll put you on the statistics, and you got to fight harder. You got to fight racism. You got to fight sexism. All this stuff you got to fight against to get there. And once you finally get there, you have somebody tell you and diminish, oh, it wasn't nothing. Yeah, it was nothing for you, but it cost me something. Why are you working so hard? Why are you doing it? Because it cost me something. And guess what? The people that cost the most will work harder to keep it. Yes, sir. I will do. So you know why I'm happy to be here, and I will do what most pastors won't do? Because it cost me something. Amen. Because I know if I let it go, I won't have it again. Amen. I know how hard it is to get it. And I don't care what folk can talk about me all day long and say, oh, Pastor Will, I don't know why he doing it like that. Why all that's unnecessary for the church to have all this and that and that. I don't care. Don't come here. You don't like it? Go to your traditional place where you used to being at. I'm doing what God called me to do. And if you don't like it, then you start your own and see how it is. And the first thing you're going to do is give up your paycheck. If you're really doing real ministry, and wait for it. But it costing me something. And every time I do something, I wait for God to cost. It's called a process. And you know what? The next generation don't want to go through that process. It's a process to progress. You got, in it costing you, you learn how to appreciate it. Because if I give it to you too easy, you'll lose it that easy. God sometimes got to put some stuff on us so we can keep our own blessing.